Well, good day. This is going to be a narrative of day 101. And it's going to be a narrative of day 101 because I was unable to take really any video or pictures on that day or the subsequent days because I was running so low on my battery power. And so I'm going to tell the story of that day rather than show it to you in video and pictures. Obviously, it's not going to be as dramatic, but I'll see if I can sort of bring it to life a little bit. So on day 101, I was camped just below Lake Marjorie, I believe it was called. I'm trying to do this from memory now. It was a very windy night. I had my tent anchored really with like boulders, and I was afraid that the wind was going to tear my tent apart. It was that windy. By the time I got up, the wind had died down. I got out. It was completely dark. I looked in one direction, and I could see the Big Dipper. Actually, it would be to your left. It was to my left. So it would be like that, with the handle of the dipper like straight down. Turned around, looked the other way, and there was Orion. In the mountains, like in the desert, when the skies are clear, you just get a marvelous display of the stars. And as I was going through my packing up routine, it was still completely dark. I saw the moon, which was, I reckoned, about 2 days away from being a new moon, just a sliver. And it was in conjunction with, I believe, a planet, very, very bright, and another bright star. It smote my heart. It was so beautiful. Went through my pack-up routine, eating breakfast, etc. And I was struck by how quickly it went from being completely night to being like daytime, where I would need a headlamp in order to navigate. From there, I climbed up and I went up Pinchot Pass. The mountains in that area are kind of made up of two different flavors of rock, shall we say. One is sort of a very light blonde mocha, shall we say, and the other one sort of looked like cocoa. Off to the right, there was a mountain that was of the cocoa-colored rock, and it had these dramatic, like, piers coming down. And I kept expecting, as the light changed and the sun rose, that the areas between the ridges of the piers coming down would get filled in and it would just sort of get washed out, but it didn't happen. And so it was a visual delight for 2-3 miles, something like that. And then off on the left there was a mountain that had a mix of the two different flavors of rock, shall we say, and it almost looked like a marble cake sort of thing. But it was definitely a visual delight. Went over Pinchot Pass and then came down into a long valley with, I believe it was Woods Creek. Made a big turn, and Woods Creek is so dramatic. It has, just below where the PCT runs, there would be places where it would just be slides, and then other places it would go over these dramatic 30-foot waterfalls. And I remember coming to a point, and I recognized it just from the lay of the land and the vegetation, where I had camped out 4 years ago with a German, three generations of a German family, and had just a wonderful evening with them. Then there was coming down from a valley on the opposite side, there was a terminal moraine. I mean, I could tell what it was just from the geographic features, but there were, house-sized boulders of this terminal moraine, I don't know, 100 feet, 200 feet high above the river. And I could tell that the creek had actually bent around this terminal moraine. It had yet to erode through this terminal moraine since the last ice age. I mean, that much rock material had been forced through, so that it forced the course of the river to bend around it. And then I hiked up, believe it was like the South Fork of the woods. Very nice, completely blue California skies all day long. I don't think I had a single cloud all day long. And then I went up into an area called the Rae Lakes, which is absolutely superlative. It reminded me most of the Cirque of the Towers in the Wind River Range, you know, with these dramatic peaks all the way around, or, you know, 3/4 of the way around. It is bigger than the Cirque of the Towers, though, in terms of its extent. And then as the day was ending, and I was hiking up towards Rae Lakes, off on the right there was this promontory. It looked a lot like Devil's Tower in Wyoming, just one of these towers on the side of the valley. And it cast such a shadow that I was in sunshine, and then as I walked through the shadow of it, the closest experience that I have had in recent years is when I experienced the total eclipse a few years ago. Just going through the shadow of Thin Dome. And then even the shadow was like completely over one of the lakes, and it was almost like it was nighttime again. And then went up to a wonderful campground that had a bear box in it, and you know, you could put a battalion of people camping there. And there was only one other person who came in after me, and it was a great day, and that's my story of day 100 over Pinchot Pass.